Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, no work from home for a sick intern? Now everyone works from home. Want us to look for problems to repair? Okay, we'll look for problems and repair them. Received a formal written warning for being absent from work when I injured my knee. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. No work from home for a sick intern? Now everyone works from home. Long-time lurker. So please pardon me for formatting errors. I don't usually post. The stories here reminded me of my internship experience in January 2022. Despite COVID still raging all around, restrictions were being lifted. My internship office had a strict work from office policy, even though all our work can easily be done online. In the first week of January 2022, I developed cold symptoms. I immediately informed my team lead and senior associate and requested permission to work from home. This wasn't even a request for time off, since I was an intern eagerly trying to impress. My senior associate decided to have none of it. Being the brilliant manager, don't ask me about the management hierarchy. There isn't one, he refused to allow work from home. Everyone, including interns, must be in the office during work hours. COVID wasn't a concern because, according to him, they would closely watch my symptoms by checking my temperature throughout the day. Note, I took paracetamols to control my temperature until my COVID test results came in while all this was happening. Nothing to be done, I complied. 2 evenings later, my COVID test returned positive. Because of exposure, everyone had to work from home for the next 2 weeks. Turns out more people were also positive at the same time. While everyone had to return to the office in February, interns were expressly instructed to work from home for another month. Want us to look for problems to repair? Okay, we'll look for problems and repair them. This happens when I worked at the post office years ago. I was one of about 40 mechanics and electronic technicians on the 3 p.m. to 11:30 shift whose job it was to fix the machines used to process mail. It was a huge facility with thousands of people working there. This may not seem believable today, but first-class mail had to be received, processed, and shipped out within 24 hours. Letters and packages start arriving in the afternoon. Sacks of letters and packages are placed on conveyor belts, stamped mail is cancelled, all mail and sorted on machines, placed in trays for shipment to their destination, and placed on trucks for shipment directly to the destination post office or the airport. Mail came between 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. and went out around 5 a.m. Up to 2.5 million stamped letters per day during Christmas, but usually around 600,000, plus metered mail and parcels. Every weekday. Our job was basically to sit around, wait for something to break, and fix it ASAP so it would run to the end of the shift. The day shift could do a more permanent fix if necessary. That was our job. Wait for some machinery to break and fix it. We sat in small groups near our machines and read, gossiped, or did whatever. One day, some bigwig saw us and didn't like us sitting around doing nothing. Word came from on high and we were told to patrol our areas and fix the broken equipment. Our chairs were taken away so we could not sit down. Now comes the malicious compliance. We did as we were told. We patrolled the building. If anyone saw something broken, we shut down the equipment and fixed it. According to safety regulations, we were required to lock out the power source with our individual padlocks and rope off the area. Hey, you 50 clerks, you need to move from under this conveyor belt so we can replace it. Of course, that disables part of the 6-mile-long system, so productivity is lost. Letter sorting machines with 14 clerks are shut down for minor repairs. Stamp canceling machines? The same. Productivity slumped and hundreds of clerks were required to work overtime that night and morning to make up for equipment being shut down for repairs. I'm sure the first night it cost tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in overtime. After 3 days, our chairs returned and it was business as usual. Received a formal written warning for being absent from work when I injured my knee. This happened in the UK, about 12 years ago when I worked as a customer assistant in a large well-known retail store. It's nothing big, but at that time, I thought, okay, if that's how it is, then that's how I'll play it too. I'd been working for the company for 3 years and had not taken a single day off for sickness since I'd started working there. If I was feeling a little under the weather, I'd just go in and work through it whilst taking any medication, if required. Here's where it takes place. I'd been playing football with friends on a weekend when I got tackled and felt a shooting pain in my knee. Instant excruciating pain. I went to the hospital and got an X-ray, but nothing of concern was visible as there were no broken bones. I received painkillers and was referred for an MRI as I was still in pain. MRI results showed that I've got a partial tear to the ACL and would need time to recover. Initially, I'd notified my manager that I'd been injured and would not be coming into work. After a week of absence, I provided a doctor's note, as required, which signed me off from work for 3 more weeks. A month after the injury took place, I was able to hobble around and was going stir crazy at home. My colleagues were keeping me updated on what was happening at work. I was aware that my manager was getting heat from senior managers for a member of the team having an extended absence. So, I decided to go back into work. First day back, I am informed that there will be a meeting for my absence. I attend the meeting with a union rep and go over the absence and the reason for it. I explained everything that happened, but it seemed like my manager was not actually listening. She was just giving me a chance to have my say, but she already knew the decision she was making. The manager then takes some time out to make an informed decision on the outcome of this meeting. She comes back and tells me that because I have reached the trigger point for absences, she will have to give me a written warning. That's simple. I felt betrayed and appalled at how I was being treated after all I've put into the company. I also found out that the union rep I had reached to support me was intentionally being unhelpful because she was friends with my manager. Cue malicious compliance. I had 7 days to make an appeal against the decision, so I started looking into the company's attendance policy. The first thing I noticed was that the trigger point is to trigger a meeting to review absences and not to hand out written warnings like the manager had stated in the meeting. I also realized that employees cannot receive a formal warning for their first absence. It must be an informal verbal warning first, because the manager has to personally tell you about the attendance policy at that initial meeting and keep a record of it in order to escalate. Then I went through the rest of the policy and found a loophole, which meant I could take 3 days off sick every 3 months without triggering an attendance meeting. I made my appeal and the initial decision was overturned. So, no written warning on record. Then every 3 months I would take 3 sick days off. This ended up giving me 12 extra holiday days per year. The result? They could have just let me have that 1 month absence and return to work as normal, but instead I am absent for 12 extra days a year because the company doesn't give a sh*t about employees. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.